Hello everyone, it's the Slime Guy here. Today we're going to be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, developed by Scott Cawthon. More specifically, we're going to be talking about color theory and nostalgia throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Right, so Five Nights at Freddy's is a wildly popular horror game franchise, which has masterfully utilized its memorable characters and intricate lore to evoke a unique form of nostalgia. This nostalgia is not triggered by memories of a fond time, rather it taps into the nostalgia of being genuinely scared as a child by the animatronic characters on stage, like Chuck E. Cheese and Friends. Through its chilling animatronic characters like Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, the game creates an eerie atmosphere that resonates with players. The lore, which unravels across multiple games and supplementary material, deepens the sense of unease and mystery, and leaves the viewer wishing for more, leaving players captivated and eager to uncover the secrets behind this haunted pizzeria. This combination of compelling characters and rich storytelling has allowed Five Nights at Freddy's to tap into a nostalgic fear, generating a dedicated fan base that relishes in the terrifying yet captivating experience the franchise has to offer. Character design plays a vital role in creating a memorable experience with any form of media, but particularly in Five Nights at Freddy's. This is exemplified by the notion that the animatronic characters in the game are meticulously crafted with unique appearances that are so uncanny they put you on the edge of your seat. These haunting features, their design strikes a delicate balance between familiarity and eeriness, drawing inspiration from beloved childhood icons such as friendly animatronics found in amusement parks and restaurants. And by taking this seemingly innocent childhood thing and twisting it, transforming them into something sinister, Five Nights at Freddy's taps into a primal fear that lingers in the collective subconscious. These characters are brought to life through their subtle movements, unsettling facial expression, and piercing eyes, intensifying the feeling of being constantly watched and stalked. The combination of their creepy aesthetics and the suspenseful gameplay amplifies the horrors, leaving players with lasting impressions and creating a profound impact on their gaming experiences. Furthermore, it makes players more likely to share their experiences online, which is a large of what propelled Five Nights at Freddy's into the massive franchise that it is today. The character design of Five Nights at Freddy's goes beyond mere shabby robots and discolored frames, weaving narrative where each animatronic holds a unique role, backstory, potential threat, engages the audience, and increases their fear factor exponentially. This attention to detail enhances the immersion and reinforces the sense of dread, making the characters integral to the overall atmosphere and establishing a lasting connection with players. The evolving use of colors in the animatronics and scenery throughout the progression of the Five Nights at Freddy's games has been a notable aspect of their evolution. In the earliest installments, animatronics primarily featured bright and vibrant colors, nonetheless stained with years of filth and tragedy. The stark contrast between their colorful appearances and the dark, eerie environment in which they reside added an uncanny layer to the horror experience. As the franchise advanced, the color palette shifted towards darker shades and more putrid colors, emphasizing a more sinister and foreboding atmosphere. Five Nights at Freddy's 3, with the disgusting vomit green, the once vibrant animatronics become more muted and worn, reflecting the passage of time and the decay within the game's lore. This gradual shift in color scheme actively contributed to the growing sense of dread, and conveyed the notion that something sinister lay beneath the surface of seemingly innocent characters. For example, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the classic animatronic team that we see is withered and worn, and in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 they're nothing but their shells. In more recent iterations of the franchise, such as the games developed by Steel Wool Studios, there has been a jarring influx of vibrant colors in the animatronics and environments. However, these colors are often used in conjunction with a cleaner and more polished visual style and environments. This departure from the decayed aesthetics of the earlier games has received mixed reactions from fans. While some appreciate the fresh take and the updated visuals, others argue that the use of brighter colors undermines the original horror atmosphere that the franchise established. The contrast between the cleaner visuals and the unsettling nature of the animatronics can create a sense of cognitive dissonance, however, which may not resonate as strongly with players seeking the nostalgic fear and unease the franchise initially invoked. This departure from the haunting aesthetics of the earlier games has left some fans dissatisfied. as the resurgence of brighter colors fails to capture the true essence of the franchise's original horror. However, I don't blame Steel Wool Studios, because I believe these polished colors now take on a malevolent aura, casting an eerie glow that adds a sinister undertone to the characters. The once decaying and worn appearances have been replaced with a deceptive sheen of cleanliness and polished exteriors. This jarring juxtaposition between the innocence of vivid hues and the lurking darkness within. The future direction of Five Nights at Freddy's. While the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise has garnered a massive following, the current direction taken by Steel Wool Studios has received criticism for potentially alienating old players and capitalizing on nostalgia. One of the main issues lies in the shift towards the polished and clean game environments. As I mentioned earlier, they deviate from the gritty and dilapidated settings that define the series. This departure disrupts the atmospheric continuity and fails to tap into the nostalgia that older players associate with the franchise. Moreover, by marketing the game as a nostalgic experience, Steel Wool Studios runs the risk of selling nostalgia to a generation, a younger audience, who may have never experienced the era the game draws inspiration from. Nowadays, when you walk into a Chuck E. Cheese pizzeria, you won't see any animatronics. No dilapidated or uncared for characters singing on stage. That era is gone. Now all you see are the TV screens on the walls. And as such, the children of today do not understand in the same way that older fans do the horror of being a kid and seeing those eerie but on the surface pleasant animatronics singing on stage at Chuck E. Cheese. This marketing strategy can lead to a diluted and superficial understanding of the original appeal, as the true essence of the franchise lies in its ability to evoke fear and unsettle players. By focusing on aesthetics and nostalgia alone, there's a danger of diluting the core elements that made Five Nights at Freddy's a captivating and terrifying experience to begin with, ultimately leaving both old and new players longing for the genuine scares and engrossing lore that originally defined the series. It's clear to see that the evolution of colors in the animatronics and scenery throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's games showcases the impact the individual elements can have on the overall experience. But it also highlights the challenge of striking a balance between innovation and staying true to the series' roots. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like. I'd really appreciate it. And that's all from me, Mr. Slime. I'll see you around next time. Thank you for watching.